Welcome to the 2025 Summit Christian Academy Athletics Department video. In this video, we will talk about the SCA mission, the athletic department philosophy. We'll talk about athletic affiliations that we are involved in at Summit Christian Academy. We'll talk about our communication platforms from the athletic department, ways to get involved in Booster Club. We'll talk to you about ways to purchase apparel. We'll also go through a few topics in our athletic handbook. We'll talk about some news and updates and finish up with our head of programs. Our school mission statement is to inspire students to achieve their God-given potential through excellent academics and Christian training in a compassionate environment. I can tell you that our athletic department does everything we can to align with that school mission statement, and we try to do everything looking through that lens. Our phrase for the philosophy of our department is representing Christ on and off the field. You've probably seen that on a handbook or seen it on our athletics website. When you first see that or hear that, you probably think of sportsmanship or actions. And while that is very important to us and think that is very important, we believe there's much more to representing Christ than good sportsmanship and actions. First of all, representing Christ for our athletes means being a great teammate. Just as Christ sacrificed for us on this earth, a great teammate will sacrifice what's best for them for what's best for the team. Secondly, representing Christ means being coachable. At times as athletes, we're asked to do jobs, asked to do things by our coaches that's not too desirable. Christ was put in this same position, but he still came to earth and did the job that his heavenly Father asked him to do. Lastly, representing Christ means giving great effort. I don't believe there's been any better example than Christ as he came to earth and gave everything. At SCA, we talk a lot to our coaches about goals versus purpose. We don't apologize for this statement, but when we step on a field, when we step on a court, any field of competition, we're there to win. We plan to win, we practice to win, we prepare to win, and we play to win. But winning is not our purpose. We believe our purpose has everlasting implications. It's not fleeting like a win or a loss. We believe each and every coach at SCA has been placed in their specific coaching position at this specific time in these athletes' lives. Our purpose is to raise up Christian leaders. We look for every opportunity to pour Christ into each and every athlete that we have on our teams, and we strive to be intentional about building those types of relationships. What is success? You hear the world talk about success, there's a lot of talk about winning. And while we also believe winning is important, as stated on the last slide, we think there's more to success than just winning. First of all, and probably the most important thing, is success is your child knowing Christ as their personal Savior and growing in their desire to serve Him. Success is your child honoring Christ through their preparation, effort, and execution in every area of their performance. Success is also your child representing Christ in SCA as they reach their highest capable level of accomplishment. Success is your child developing community and school spirit through the promotion of the school's mission. Success is also your child enjoying, understanding, developing, and competing in the sport of their gifting. And lastly, we believe success is your child being pushed to excel by coaches who care for them and model Christ in their daily walk. One topic I would like to cover is sports specialization. At SCA, we really try to promote the multi-sport athlete. Studies show there are some negative effects that come from sports specialization. One of those is overuse injuries. That is, repetitive motions that are used over and over and over again in a specific sport. Studies show that 50% of all high school injuries come from overuse injuries. Also, burnout is another negative effect that comes from sports specialization. 45% of young athletes say they quit a sport due to psychological burnout. As a former college coach, I can tell you there were many young men who came to me and decided to quit during the season, and probably 95% of those athletes stated burnout as being the reason why they were deciding to step away from that sport they've played probably ever since they were 4 or 5 years old. And so burnout is a real thing. And lastly, negative effect that comes from sports specialization is reduced motor skill development. A lot of times you're focused on motor skills in a specific sport and you ignore the others that could be developed. Then in those sports, those skills you might be really good at, maybe the one better than the one that you've been practicing your whole life for. And so that is another negative effect. At SCA, we are a part of the Missouri State High School Activities Association, or MSHA. At the high school level, we are a full member. At the junior high level, we are an affiliate member. We are also part of the Crossroads Conference in grades 7 through 12. You can see at high school level and junior high level the schools that are a part of the Crossroads Conference. Before we get into talking about athletics specifically, I wanted to bring up our Scholar Bowl department. At SCA, we do have a Scholar Bowl team, and unfortunately at this time we do not have a Scholar Bowl coach. We are making efforts to make that happen and get one. But our Scholar Bowl is a part of MSHA, and they are also a part of the Crossroads Conference. For those of you looking for athletic information, the best place to go is our athletic website. All you have to do is go to our school website and click on athletics, and you'll find things such as the calendar, which have games and practices, ways to buy tickets and passes. You'll see the handbook and other forms. You'll see a coach's directory, and also links to our things such as MSHA and Privet. You'll also see team pages there, where you'll find schedules, scores, results, rosters, and much, much more. And last thing I wanted to mention, which is really important, if you'll go to our athletic page, you'll find a button that says Notify Me. On that, if you click on that and sign up for that, you'll be able to receive text and email notifications anytime there's any changes to the game schedule or practice schedule. So make sure you check out into that Notify Me button and to get signed up for that. The athletic department realizes that communication is very, very important here at Summit Christian Academy. Our primary way we try to communicate with our community is through email. There are other ways of communication that we also utilize. First of all, the Our School app. All you have to do is type in Our School Activity Scheduler to your app store, and you'll be able to pull that up and make that a part of your phone. Also, the ScoreStream app. If you go to that and just follow Summit Christian Academy, you'll see lots of results come in for games. And then we also communicate through the Soaring newsletter that comes out quarterly, and that comes out through email. And we share a lot of things happening on athletics in the Soaring newsletter. The SCA Athletic Department is also very active on social media, and below are our social media platforms that we give information on. At SCA, we're very blessed to have an outstanding booster club that is very active and very successful. Their main objective is to generate income to bless SCA teams, groups, activities with equipment and many other needs. Some of the main events, the things they do to generate that income is, first of all, Booster Club works all concessions, and you can become involved in that by being a Booster Club team rep. but we also have parents and athletes to specific teams serve in our concession stand. But the big event that Booster Club puts on every year is Trivia Night, and that's coming up on October 12th. So you're going to see some things on social media about Trivia Night coming up, and make sure you check that out. And if you just want to get in touch with somebody from Booster Club, our Booster Club Council person that you want to get in touch with is Shay Painter, and there's her contact information by email there. Game One is the company that we use to help us supply game gear and spirit wear for all of our spectators and fans who want to get that apparel. And to find, they've set up a spirit shop for us, and to find that, it is online. You go to the SC Athletics website and click on Team Stores. It's open all year round and 24/7. And all you have to do is go on, select the item that you would like, the size, and the quantity. You pay online, and it's delivered directly to your home. Our athletic handbook covers many topics, and I'm not going to cover all of them on this video, but I did want to highlight a few and as we go through it. And first of all, on page 8, I want to touch on conflict resolution. And in the athletic department, we follow what the school follows when it comes to conflict resolution. We follow that Matthew 18 principle. And that states if you have a situation where there is conflict, we want you to go directly to the source rather than go to others or go above or below them. Go to that person. In athletics, sometimes that means that there's going to be a conflict with a coach. And so I would encourage you, we have some outstanding coaches here that genuinely want what's best for your student athlete. So make sure if there is an issue, go and talk to them, give them an opportunity to explain and talk about that issue to where we can maybe come to a resolution. On page 12, you will see the topic of conduct for fans. At SCA, I believe we do a really good job. Our fans do a really good job. Our spectators do a really good job of acting the right way. The reality in this area is that there is an official shortage, and a lot of officials are getting out of the profession of being an official, and a lot of it is because the treatment that they receive from fans at games. I can say this because I've heard this. We have a really good reputation here from officials with the way we act in the stands, our coaches, the way they treat officials, our athletes, the way they treat officials. And so most officials want to officiate at SCA, and we want to keep it that way. And the philosophy, the phrase that we use representing Christ for our athletes and our coaches, it applies to our spectators and our fans as well. We want you to root for SCA, not against the other team and not against officials. So remember that we're representing Christ also in the stands and not just on the court. On page 13 is the topic of athlete paperwork, which means you're going to be familiarizing yourself with Privet. Privet, the link to Privet is on our athletic website, and Privet is where we keep all of our paperwork that has to be signed. It's where you upload your physicals. Every 2 years, you have to upload a new physical to Privet, and so make sure you go and check out Privet on the athletic website and make yourself familiar with it, because that's very important at the beginning of every season to get all the paperwork signed and get those physicals uploaded there. On pages 14 through 17, the topic of eligibility is discussed. There's a couple levels I want to talk about here on the video. First of all, MSHA eligibility. MSHA states that student athletes must be enrolled in and passing 7 classes per semester. At the end of each semester, there's a grade check. If the student athlete is not passing or did not pass 7 classes in the previous semester, they will not be eligible for sports or activities in the semester coming up. SEA eligibility, we do grade checks seasonally, and if you look on page 17, I believe you'll see those dates. But when we do grade checks, the student athlete cannot have an F, and they cannot have 2 Ds. If they have an F or they have more than 1 D, they will serve a 2-week ineligibility period. They can still practice during this time period. They just cannot compete. At the end of those 2 weeks, if those grades are up and meeting SCA academic standards, then they will be eligible again immediately. If they're not, then they will serve another 2-week ineligibility period. And the last thing I wanted to discuss on this slide is attendance. Attendance is very important and catches some of our athletes at times. And if you have practice or a game on a day, you must be in attendance half of the school day that day. If you are not in attendance half the school day, you will not be able to practice or you will not be able to play in that game. A couple things that catch people from time to time: if there's a Saturday game, the attendance we have to follow. This is a MISHA rule. The attendance we have to follow is from Friday's attendance. So if they were not in class half the day on Friday, they cannot play in that game or be in that competition on Saturday. So make sure that you're in class half the school day, and we won't have to run into these issues. On page 17 is the topic of participating in school and club teams. And the first topic there is same season, same sport. That might be a person or a student athlete trying to participate in high school soccer and club soccer at the same time. MISHA states that is not allowed in any way, shape, or form. The next topic of same season, different sport. We may have an athlete participating in a high school soccer and maybe a club baseball team. That is allowed, but the club sport must never interfere with a school practice or game. If that does, there is a penalty that MISHA has in place that could be up to ineligibility for 365 days. On pages 17 through 18 is the topic of participation and dual activities within SCA. And at times we will have a student athlete who participates in 2 sports in one season. That is allowed, or they may be in a sport and an activity at the same time. And those are allowed, but we do know there will be conflicts at times, and so we ask the coaches, athletes, directors to get together and discuss what those are and talk about those and get those worked out ahead of time. And to do that, you'll need to fill out a dual activity form, which is on our SC Athletics website, and you can print that off and work through that. If there is a conflict that we can't work out, we will go to the priority level chart, which is on page 18, I believe, and on there it will show us what will take priority if we do have those conflicts that can't be worked out when those arise. On this slide, you're going to see a few of the bigger events that we're going to be hosting here at SCA, so put those on your calendar and mark those down and plan on being there. At the bottom of this slide, I wanted to mention that we will be having a streaming service this year, and we will have our own YouTube channel. And so if you'll go to YouTube and subscribe to SCA Athletics, you'll be able to see indoor sports on that YouTube page, like basketball, volleyball, and wrestling, and then outdoor football and soccer. And our goal is to have all junior high and high school games that occur in those sports live streamed on YouTube, and they'll also be archived so you can go back and watch them at a later time. If you would like to purchase tickets ahead of time before getting to the gate at a game, you can go onto our athletic website and click on hometown ticketing, and you can buy tickets online there. But probably most importantly, most of you are looking for those Eagle passes. You can buy those Eagle passes on hometown ticketing as well. Also on this slide I wanted to make mention of our athletic trainer, Natalie Price. This will be her second year in that role with us, and if you have questions, if you have an athlete who is injured, just reach out to Natalie. you'll see her contact information there. We're excited to announce 2 new programs offerings here at SCA this year. This spring we will be starting high school boys tennis, and this fall we'll actually be starting junior high softball. Each year we have new coaches that are going to be in place, and our new head of programs there you'll see. Our high school girls golf coach, our new coach is Trenton LaFoon. New high school softball coach is Riley Lunn. Boys soccer is Rich Bartow. Our boys tennis coach will be Matthew Peak. And our volleyball coach is Christina Lewis. Our athletic department has went through a little restructuring over the summer. First of all, my name is Lance Quisenberry. This is my 10th year in the role as the high school athletic director. Last year, we had Andre Eccles as our junior high athletic director, but he also taught some classes. This year, he's just going to be doing the athletic director role for junior high and elementary. To help him, to assist him, is going to be Rhonda Morrison. And again, Kathy Woodall will be entering her 10th year as the athletic department administrative assistant. And on this slide, you will see the remaining head of programs that are in our athletic department. Thank you for viewing our athletic department video. And you can see the contact information there for me. And go Eagles, and I hope to see you at an athletic event sometime soon this fall, winter or spring.